I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here again with Maria Elena Rossi, who's the Director of Marketing and Promotion for ENIT, otherwise known as the Italian Tourist Board. And we've talked to Maria before about Italy, about getting to Italy, and also some of the top destinations. And this time we're going to focus on two others, two that are very familiar to all of you, Florence and Rome. And we're also going to get an update, since things change all the time, about how to get into Italy and what it takes to get there. I just came through myself. It's actually very easy. So it really is an easy process. But we're going to find out about all that and more here on Insider Travel Report. Now, first of all, Maria, I always ask, how are you and where are you? I assume you're in Rome?
Yes, I'm very well, and I'm absolutely in Rome. Yes, in the head office of the ENIT National Tourist Board. Yes,
that's great. And again, as I said, I came through Milano, but only on transit. But I got to come stay one of these days. We'll see very soon. But let's first of all talking about it. And I just experienced it. But give us an update on the requirements for U.S. travelers who want to visit Italy today. What do they have to do, and what do they have to get into Italy now?
Well, as you have experienced yourself, things have not changed since the last time we talked. So it is pretty easy to get into Italy when you have vaccination recognized by the Italian and European regulator systems, and we are, let's say, very well organized in the main airports. Not only Rome and Milan, but most airports have absolutely all the ways to have the controls done and to let you go through very easily. So that's actually the requirement.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I had no challenges getting through Milan Malpensa at all. I think, I don't know if it was required or not, but the airline I was on, which is a relatively new airline for Americans, even though it's been in Italy, called Neos, actually asked me for a vaccination test, a vaccination card, and also a PNR test. But I'm not sure if that's actually required by Italy itself. And then it was a lot harder to get up through some of the other countries I've been in recently. So
yes, well, it is required in no COVID free flights.
Right.
So there are some airlines which have COVID free flights, so called. And so for those companies who don't have this kind of mark, they need for the passengers a PCR test 72 hours prior to arrival. And as you said, we call it here the green pass, but it's like a certificate which confirms that you have had both 2 jabs and that you are fully vaccinated.
I'd rather have the green pass than my flimsy little white card from the U.S. because that is going to disappear soon, I think, as I keep taking it on my wallet. I have taken a photo of it, and I would urge everyone else, if you tell your clients, make sure you take a photo of this thing because it's not going to last very long. And if you laminate it, then you can't get your updated vaccines booster shots. So it's an interesting problem we have, but that's the times we live in. Now, let's talk a little bit about, again, the advantages of traveling to Italy right now. Obviously there are fewer crowds, and we are getting into the winter season now. Are you seeing more Americans coming back now?
We do see an increase in flows in tourism flows from the U.S. luckily, and it's mostly, of course, in the main cities, but also in some of the most well-known areas, such the Amalfi Coast, which have extended their season, but also the Lake Como, for instance. There are some areas which actually are experiencing an increase. It is for us, as you said, still the numbers are still much lower than they used to be, but as the intention is to extend the season as much as possible. We have been confirmed from the government the opening of all the ski mountain resorts in the Alps, which is also a very positive a sign for the opening of the winter season. I must say that we are experiencing a beautiful fall time, so our cities are very enjoyable at the moment, and we still have. Let's say a very, very also positive situation in terms of the COVID. We are actually the population in Italy has the higher percentage of vaccinated people, which is over 85%.
Wow.
Fully vaccinated, and also the number of positive cases is extremely low. And there are still some let's say regulations which people have to respect. That's different from other countries such as the UK or the Netherlands, for example. So you need to wear your face masks when you are inside a restaurant or a theater, but cinema, theaters, operas now are open 100%, only with this restriction of wearing a mask. And actually, you have to show the certificate, as you were saying. We are having a green pass, but also when you enter, as I said, cinemas, restaurants, hotels, you have to show your vaccination certificate. So these regulations have allowed the situation to be very positive in terms of very low numbers of positive cases.
Well, that's great news. And as I said a few weeks ago, I found myself in Rome and wanted to reacquaint myself that Rome was still there. So I had to go to all the old favorites and all the old attractions that I know. And I have to tell you, every time I turned around, I heard an American voice. So they are going to Rome, at least. I know that. I was only in Rome briefly for a day and a half, but it was strange going to the places I know so well. But it was just sort of like, yeah, they're still here. They've been here for thousands of years, and they're not going away, but it's great to go revisit them. Now, indeed, I do want to focus on two destinations today, Rome and Florence. What is happening in Florence this year, and what is happening in Rome?
Well, this year has been, and especially starting from September, it has been a full reopening of both cities. If we talk about Florence, this wonderful opportunity which the Uffizi Gallery has offered to the whole Tuscany is to have exhibited some of its masterpieces around Tuscany, and not only in Uffizi, and which means that it creates a better connection between the city itself and what is around its surroundings. And I think this is a very positive example of how COVID has improved visitor management and also the experience of the people who are visiting. And also what restarted is all the fashion, especially the men's fashion, which is very strong in Florence. So the Pitti has restarted, and this also is a sign of being in presence and experiencing fashion and Italian lifestyle, which is actually really the main element of attraction for Americans to our country. At the moment, also we have a beautiful exhibition of Jeff Koons in the Palazzo Strozzi, and which is by itself a beautiful location for temporary exhibition, and always really exhibiting the most iconic contemporary arts, creating this kind of contrast between Renaissance and contemporary artists. And well, the city is also becoming more and more, as I was telling about Milan last time, more and more, let's say, related to sustainable values and better sustainable transportation means. You will find more and more bikes around, and the opportunity to ride a bike on the Arno River and in the city and around the city. connecting better also the city center with the parks that are around, and also the hills. So you can get up to the hills with a electrical bicycle, which is, I think, a wonderful experience.
Sure.
Also for visitors to see from another perspective the city itself. So this is really the direction which all Italian cities are now going to, and it is not easy to cope with, of course, the fact that you are in an ancient city with a very particular, let's say, infrastructure and also urban structure, which is not one of a modern city, which is much easier to reorganize in terms of a sustainable transportation. But all our cities are working very strongly on that. So I do think that Florence also is a good example to experience in a new way with electrical bicycles.
No, indeed. To think about, you can take an electric bicycle out into the hills, into Tuscany around. It's just gorgeous, and it really is. And I've done it before, not the bike, but within seconds, you're out in the countryside in Florence. And that actually brings up, well, actually, I want to assume all the hotels and restaurants are now open throughout the city. And I even think you might have some new hotels coming in, right?
Well, there were many plans of new hotels which were supposed to open in 2020 and which are now planning either at the end of the year or in 2022. So particularly the high end share of the market will have a strong increase in tourism, in hotels, and in tourism offer in generally speaking, because that's where before the COVID great investors were focusing on, and so this is now coming true in 2022.
No, absolutely, and we're looking forward to getting back into the city. But of course, you can also use Florence as a base to visit the region and other Italian towns and cities nearby in Tuscany and elsewhere. What places would you suggest that travelers, use Florence as a base to visit around?
Tuscany by itself has small villages such as San Gimignano Volterra, but also art cities such as Siena, Arezzo, Cortona. It's actually you need to travel around in Tuscany and using as a base Florence, because you need to see how the Renaissance has really made flourish all these cities, and they're still there the way they used to be, and very animated with markets and winter markets now starting. Christmas markets will be there as well, opening again, which make also a very different atmosphere. So actually, it is a very easy base. You can connect either by train. For those who are more sportive, as we said, by bike, electrical bicycle, right, and of course by car. The distances are very limited, and you can visit. I didn't mention Pisa, of course, and also the coastline is really beautiful, even in the winter time, to go down to Castiglione della Pescaia, Punta Ala. These are areas where there are really woods of pine trees, which are at the coast, on the coastline of white sand beaches, which I mean, for me, for instance, I love to walk also in the winter along these beaches with a very mild weather. So that's again an experience which connects us better with nature, which is also again a new, stronger trend, which is now ongoing.
No, absolutely. And I have been lucky enough, at least well before COVID, about 2-3 years ago, I spent a significant time in Florence and went all around Tuscany and stayed in villas and around there, and also used the rail. I took rail from Florence to Rome and from Florence to up eventually to Venice. So it is very easy to get around in a sustainable fashion. Now, let's turn to your city. Let's talk about Rome a little. What's going on in Rome in terms of, it's such a traditional destination that every American should see, but what is different, if anything, about visiting Rome today?
Again, the idea of connecting with other areas which are less known, and also getting acquainted with neighborhoods like the Monti area, where a lot of art craft is still living, in jewelry, in fashion, and it's so you can order your new suit and getting made by the best tailors in town. So I mean, the at the moment the main attractions are all full, open, and available. But at the same time, walking or again by bicycle, the city center is very accessible. You can really get also in the medieval neighborhoods or in the parks. Rome is a city of parks. Villa Pamphili, Villa Borghese, Villa Ada. There are so many parks which are beautiful, and inside the parks you have villas, because that's really comes from the Roman times, where all the major representatives of the city had their own villas, very precious in the middle of beautiful nature areas, and they're still there. The one I mentioned earlier, they're still there. They are fully open and nice to visit. What is the opera and theaters are all open again. In the summer, we experience the opera outside in the Circo Massimo. And this is something that now has become a tradition, thanks again to COVID, much more extended than before. And well, we also are looking ahead to the Ryder Cup in 2023. And I must say that this is something that has brought very much excitement around all the golf courses that are in and around the city, which are, well, actually the most ancient golf course in Italy had been created by a British gentleman who founded it at the end of the 19th century, and which is Acquasanta, and there are the Italian Open has just taken place in the new golf course, which will be hosting the Ryder Cup in 2023 in Marco Simone, and this is bringing a lot of let's say excitement, and we have just won this bid to host in 2022 the IGTM, so which is the largest say marketplace in tourism for golfing. So again, it's a combination of ancient art, of new neighborhoods which are opening up to tourists, and to also connecting to the nature through parks and also through sports activities.
No, and actually I would never thought of Rome and golf. So you're telling me something I didn't know. I focus on the central city, and I forget about that. But you're right. I did see that there is going to be, you won the bid for the International Golf Travel Show that's coming up, which I was actually supposed to go to the one this year, but I didn't make it. I think it was up in Wales or something.
Yes, in Cardiff.
Yeah,
yes.
So that was great. So that's a great idea, actually. Now, and as you said, right now all the hotels and restaurants are open throughout the city, and obviously you may need a vaccination card, but otherwise it's really normal to just travel and go see all the sites, right?
Yes, it is. You were mentioning all these openings. I mean, I must can't say too much about the different openings, but one I want to tell you about is about the Bulgari Hotel. It's a brand. It's an Italian jewelry and fashion brand, which has decided also to develop in Rome a new hotel, and it will open next year. It's just around the corner from the Mausoleo di Augusto, the Mausoleum of Augusto, the Emperor, who just also opened, and is absolutely a must see for those of of you who have already been to Rome and haven't had the chance to see it. Just opened in June this year. And so many other properties will also be reopening in 2023 and giving the sign of the full speed that Rome wants to have for its tourism, which is, as we always say, a main element of the industry, of social life, and of our economy.
Okay, now just remind me of that name, that the hotel that's opening is the
Bulgari Hotel.
Bulgaria, of course.
I say it the Italian way.
No, I know. Well, and you can spell it with the V instead of the U. So that's the thing. But no, I know Bulgaria very well. I just and I'm looking forward to that. And I do know other hotels that are opening both next year and the following year. Some that were, as you said, delayed from 21. I know I was invited to go to a hotel, and actually was here in Rome earlier this year, and I called him up. I said, "So is your hotel open?" He said, "No, we decided to delay until 22. So we're going to have to come back again in 22, and it's going to be a wonderful way to get back and see all these new properties. I know before COVID, I saw a number of new properties that came in, so, some old favorites too. Like the Hotel de Ville opened in 2019. And then went to the old favorites like the Hassler and the Hotel de Russie and things like that are just I love to go visit even if I'm not staying. Now let's talk a little bit about how to use Rome as a base to visit the other Italian towns and cities nearby the region. What places would you suggest that people visit if they use Rome as a base?
Well, Rome, of course, is much better known and is renowned in all over the world, and not as much as Lazio, which is the region,
right?
And that is much less known, although also as a brand. It is not a brand, but Lazio itself is a very, very interesting and beautiful region with, just to say some of the elements, thermal areas. I'm talking about Viterbo, for instance, where the popes used to have their thermal baths. But also the area of the castles, Castel Gandolfo, where actually the summer residency of the Pope is. And it's an area where beautiful hills are also spotted with lakes, and it's a wonderful area to be around. And what is very interesting also are the villas and the gardens that are dating from the 15th and the 16th century and are still there to be visited. And they can be reached mostly by car, easily by car, but also by rail. And not to forget Villa Adriana and Villa d'Este. Villa Adriana is the beautiful residency that the Emperor Adriano has built outside the city. And it is by itself worth just at least one day of visit, because it's the remains are still there, and you walk in a mesmerizing park. And next to it, Villa d'Este is, and it's, by the way, UNESCO site, as again a beautiful garden to visit, an Italian garden and Italian style garden, and it's like 50 minutes from the city center of Rome, and easy to reach by car or by bus. So these are the examples, just to tell you what is around Rome. Also, you have beautiful villages on the seaside,
right,
and like Gaeta, Sperlonga. These areas are also very nice to visit in the winter time and in the fall, because, as I said, the climate is very mild, and you can really enjoy wonderful food in front of the Mediterranean Sea, and visiting these ancient villages and cities. Of course, Rome is also is also connecting, as you said earlier, Florence and Venice and Bologna, and of course Naples and Bari by high-speed train. So you can also connect from Rome and going down south to Naples, Salerno, and then down to Puglia as well. So in that respect, the high-speed connection is absolutely wonderful. In a bit more than an hour, you will be in Naples, and from there also being able to connect with Costa d'Amalfi, Capri, Ischia. Yeah, the distances actually are not that with high-speed train are becoming less and less. Yes.
No, absolutely. You're describing a trip I did in 2019, which was to take high-speed rail down to Naples, to take high-speed rail up to Florence. Although I will admit that I did drive to Puglia, to Bari, and I wish I had actually taken the train. It was a bit of a drive.
Yes.
It can be. It's one. The roads are wonderful, but it's still a long way. People forget that. If you're not using the train, it can be. And it is easy to get around by car, but still the distances can be a little daunting sometimes. And you have to learn how to stop and enjoy life a little bit on the way. So that's really what it is. Now, overall, right now, what do you think are the keys to enjoying a trip to Italy today, and what Americans should prepare for?
Well, what we've seen and what also we experience ourselves when we are tourists today is we try to take more time to get deeper into the place we are, to get to know the people, and to take your time. I think time, we always knew it was the most precious thing we have. And it is true that Italians know how to take their time and how to enjoy life. And I think there's nothing better now to enjoy Italy and its lifestyle. Taking the time for having an aperitivo, taking the time to talk to the people, to have wonderful lunches in one of the piazzas. And I think this all is much more enjoyable because of less crowds, but also because of the way we Italians have changed ourselves and have decided to enjoy life even more. So this is something that you really can smell and feel around you when you travel to our country. So just, I think, choosing one city as a base and then taking the time to visit also the surroundings and the beautiful areas, both natural and cultural and artistic areas around, is probably the best way to get back to Italy.
Well, and we all do want to get back to Italy. I think right now, I know the crowds aren't quite there yet, but I know from what I talk to all of my travel advisor friends who are booking their clients right now, boy, there's incredible pent-up demand to go back to Italy. And it's like when I was in Rome, I just felt I had to go back and check to see everything was still there. Because you're so excited to see these places again, that some that are familiar and some, as you said, to discover again and discover new ways of enjoying Italy, enjoying Florence, enjoying Rome. So it's really, I think next year you're going to do fabulous in terms of tourists. I'm certainly going to be there, that's for sure. You guys, and talking with you, and I really want to get back to Italy, all these wonderful destinations. So where can travel advisors go to get more information about Italy?
Well, we have the partnerships since a few years with the main travel advisors associations. So we are connected through the intranet and of these associations. And you can, of course, talk to our colleagues who are in New York and in Los Angeles, and who will be more than happy to support and to give you all the information we have carried out. And we're still doing many webinars to present the different destinations and the properties and experiences, and we will be going on, of course, doing so. But you can connect with the colleagues of ANIT in New York and in Los Angeles, and we also will be at ILTM in Cannes with a large stand. Also there, we will be carrying out some fam trips from Cannes, taking to the cities all the advisors who will be staying a bit longer and traveling from Cannes to Italy. So many opportunities to be connected with us and to come back.
Fantastic. Well, Maria Elena, thank you very much for taking the time once again, at least to focus in on two wonderful cities, Florence and Rome, and all of the surrounding region. I know we're all eager to get back, and you will see more coverage of Italy here on Insider Travel Report in the coming weeks. We're looking forward to that, and we, of course, are looking very much to getting back ourselves, more than just for a day or two, as I've done, but really to spend some quality time in Italy. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you, and James, looking forward to see you here.
Absolutely. I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.